Welcome to the Warframe Weapon Encyclopedia, where today we're checking out the Dex Sybaris. Now this is one of the anniversary weapons, so the only way to get it is during Warframe's anniversary that happens in March. There is no other way to get it outside of that, however you should always go for it even if you already have it, because you essentially get the weapon for free and it comes with a free weapon slot, so even if you're not gonna use it, you can simply get it and then sell it to get a free weapon slot. The Dex Sybaris is a lever action burst rifle that does primarily slash damage, but there's still a lot of impact and puncture in there. It has decent accuracy, very high crit chance of 35% with a standard crit multiplier, decent fire rate, a reasonably sized magazine with a fairly swift reload, though the status is a bit low at only 10%. Now the Dex Sybaris fires 2 rounds with every shot, so the damage you see on the stat screen is actually only half of what it does because it's also very accurate, so even at long ranges you are most likely gonna hit both shots. Though the accuracy isn't perfect, so if you're firing at enemies that are very far away, I would go for body shots and not headshots, because you're very likely to actually miss the second shot. Now while I do agree that the best build you can go for on the Dex Sybaris is a Hunter Munitions Vyro hybrid, where we use Hunter Munitions to get consistent slash procs and then we run some Vyro in there to increase the damage of those slash procs, I actually tend to prefer this one instead, which is more expensive and it does less damage, but it just feels better in lower levels because you have far more one-shot potential up to sort of level 70 or 80. My biggest issue with the Hunter Munition setup is how unreliable the actual Vyro procs are. You're gonna proc plenty of slash, but Vyro is only gonna happen every now and then. So I feel like a straight up crit build works better on the Dex Sybaris, and if you want to use a Hunter Munitions Vyro hybrid, you should go for the Sybaris Prime, which doesn't have quite as much crit as the Dex Sybaris, but it has a lot more status. And it also has more base damage, so the slash procs you do leave behind are gonna be even chunkier than on the Dex Sybaris. Now as I said at the start, there is no real question of whether or not you should actually get this weapon, because you should every year in fact, even if you're not gonna use it, just to get the free weapon slot. But should you invest the forma into it to get a proper build running? Well, that kind of depends. I would of course recommend leveling it up at least once so you can get the mastery from it, but going beyond that depends mainly on whether or not you have access to the Sybaris Prime, because they're fairly similar. The Dex Sybaris feels better in my opinion than the Sybaris Prime, but the Sybaris Prime, despite not having quite as much crit as the Dex variant, is just better. But then again, the Dex Sybaris is gonna perform better in lower levels if you go for a straight up crit build, and it's free with essentially no mastery rank requirement since the weapon is given to you, so the actual mastery rank of the weapon is ignored. I genuinely don't know whether I should recommend it or not. If you don't have access to the Sybaris Prime, yes, absolutely, but if you do have access to the Sybaris Prime, you may want to think twice. And that's pretty much it for the video, so I thank you very much for watching. As always guys, I hope you've enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.